welcome to Scrappin with Sheri, and Merry Christmas. I can't believe Christmas is here. We're on the cusp of starting a brand new year, and I'm just excited to share another Christmas idea with you today using one of the virtual crop sketches from December of 2024. I'll be doing this sketch right here, and it's a very simple sketch. There's not a lot to it, but the hardest thing I had was pulling papers. I'm trying to finish using up some of my Christmas papers. I decided to go with this ornament paper to do these corners here. But in looking at what I wanted in the center, there is an avocado cardstock that is beautiful with this. The dark green is beautiful. The cranberry is beautiful. But I wanted a little bit of pattern for the background. And I found that this green stripe out of the Something Blue collection is so very pretty with this Christmas stuff. The problem is I don't have two full sheets of it. So you know me, I'm going to be trying to piece bits and pieces to make this background here. So let's get started. We're going to start first by cutting our patterns paper. And you just need to be aware of your patterns when you're using a patterns paper, because we want these ornaments going up and down once we get them on here. So when we cut, we need to turn our pattern paper sideways to make sure that that happens. Now we're cutting this at a 12 by 4. So we just need to slide it into our cutter at the 4-inch mark and cut. And we're going to cut 2 of those. And that's going to leave us a little leftover piece, so we can do a whole nother layout with it. But then we're going to cut corner to corner here. And a 4-inch is a really good size to cut corner to corner, because you can see exactly where those little lines are going to line up. And I'm just lining a point here and a point here. Obviously not lining up very well. Not unusual in my world. And that's going to give me the top and bottom of opposite sides. So to make sure that my patterns work out well, on this one, let's see, I'm going to need to cut the same way. Yeah, I'm just checking the patterns because I just want to make sure I don't do this wrong. I do have an extra piece if I needed it, but it would be nice to not need it, wouldn't it? And that almost cuts all the way, just not quite. All right, so we've got our pieces cut for all of those outside triangles. Now we've just got to make the middle part work using my scraps of paper. Now, unfortunately, this is not going to be big enough, I don't think. Let me pull in a cover sheet and we'll test that out. It's going to be really close, but just not quite big enough. And you can see why right there. So in my head right now, I'm just going over, okay, what's the easiest way to make this work? I would prefer to not have to cut this piece up at all. And slide that out of the way. And I think my best bet may be to just cut a little bit of the green off behind here and here and piece it onto this. Now, some of you are thinking, that's crazy, just get another pack of paper. Yeah, I could do that. But the problem with that is there are a lot of papers in that pack I don't necessarily need. I don't think I would use them. And so for me, it just doesn't make sense at this point in time to open a whole new pack of paper to get out a couple of little slivers of this green. See if we can make that work somehow up here without having to piece too much. Still not big enough, is it? Okay, let's see if I can cut off. I'm trying to figure out where is going to be the best place to cut to get a match. And it may be this one right here. So I'm going to slide this down just a hair. Grab my pencil and draw me a little pencil line. And then chop that off. Y'all are watching these scary little thought processes in action today. I don't know about you, but our December has been kind of busy already. I feel like my brain is in overdrive. So, who knows if this will work at all. I may just chop this paper into oblivion and it not even work. Let's see if we can make that one work now. Oh, yeah, look at that. All right, so we will need a background to put that one on as well. I'm going to go ahead and stick these down and get that part done. So what I'm doing here is going ahead and sliding this green all the way to the bottom. This would have been much easier if I had had 2 sheets of this, but because I didn't, I just wanted to make it work. And I really wanted to use this little bit of pattern here. I could have used just an avocado solid, but I really love just having a little bit of pattern for my background sheets. This we're going to slide in. And I'm just going to make sure that my lines match up here. It's going to go off the top of that page, but that'll be easy enough to cut. And we're just matching up the stripes. You're going to have to go that way to get all the stripes in. So if this were your page, what would you have done? Would you have pulled a new pack of paper? Would you have just gone with the avocado cardstock because that would have been the easiest plan? Or would you have taken the time to piece it because you specifically wanted this certain pattern? I'm sure we're in lots of different camps on that. All right, so now all I've got to do is stick these on. You want to make sure your points stick really well. I would recommend the repositionable tape on those little edges. I'm not real worried about that because I know it's going in a page protector pretty quickly. So I'm not going to panic about the points. We're also going to put a border over it in just a second, which I think will help hold those points down. Looks like I've still got a little bit of excess showing right there on the corner. And just a touch right there at the top as well. Alright, so the only place we see that piecing is going to be right there. And you know, once I get pictures on it, it'll be covered up anyway. So I'm not real worried about that. And looking at this design, I wanted to make sure that the border that I use is going to contrast well with what's going on the page. And because I chose the green for my background, I'm going to be using cranberry to do the border strips. You can always use stickers. If you've got Christmas stickers left over, even from other years, seem to coordinate pretty well with the Christmas collection this year. So don't be afraid to pilfer through some of those stickers and see what you got left over. I'm going to be using a border cartridge and the border maker system just because I wanted something a little more solid, not as busy. I think this page is going to end up being a less busy one in a lot of respects until I get the photos on. So I decided to pull my cranberry cardstock. I'm going to be using the border maker system with the double rickrack chain. This is one of my favorites for multiple reasons. One is I'm very lazy, and the fact that it punches 2 at a time is very exciting to me. It cuts down my work time. And I just like the look of it. It's such a good seam coverer. Just covers over those little seams so perfectly. I haven't done measurements on this yet, but I will say most of the time when you're doing a border that's diagonal, you're going to need a little extra. This one we may not, and I'll try it before I punch an extra. But sometimes, whoop, my notes are falling off the wall. Sometimes you have to punch one extra just to do a little filler. Now, if you were with me at Thanksgiving, I talked to you about making pictures, and I talked to you about taking filler pictures. So the word filler just reminded me that I might need to say that again. With all your Christmas festivities, and I know it's a little late to be reminding you, you need to be aware of taking some filler pictures, because occasionally you're going to have spots where you need something. Take a few close-up pictures of some of your decorations. And speaking of that, my brain is just going off on rabbit trails today. I saw a post on Facebook, I think, the other day, where a lady had taken pictures of her Christmas decorations and had put them into the storage boxes where she stored her Christmas decorations, so that the next year she could go back and look at those and determine how she decorated the year before. And I thought, wow, that is so smart. I do take pictures and I have them in my albums, but I don't keep them in the boxes where I store the decorations. She had just taped them to the lid of the box, and I thought that was a really good idea. So I don't know where I was headed with this whole conversation, but that just made me think. You never know what kinds of tools and tips you're going to get, tricks and tips. And here I am just covering that seam. And I mentioned it's on a diagonal, so you are going to run out of some extra room right there. Now these little pieces that come off are going to be great to fill in those little edges. And if you don't like where those seams show, it will be easy enough to stick an embellishment there, but I don't think you're even going to be able to tell. This double rickrack is just the greatest. Now, as I'm making this for you, I don't have in mind any particular pictures to put on this page. We've done lots of Christmas events already, but I don't really have a plan for this page. I know with the ornaments on it, it'll be easy enough to use it. So I'm not even going to put pictures on this today. I'm thinking this page would be great for lots of different events, not just specifically Christmas related. Because when you look at this idea, it's a great way to use up a part of a pattern's paper that you've got left. I could see me doing this as a birthday layout. This would be a fun layout to do if you've got someone who's in a play, because you could turn it sideways like this and it would kind of look like the curtains in a playhouse. So lots of different ideas that you could do with this particular layout. And that's one thing I love about the virtual crop sketches. They are sketches. They're pretty generic. And I love looking through the virtual crop page to see what people do with them, because there are some very talented people that post on the virtual crop page. And seeing how we can make these look so different just by using different pieces of paper. But what a great way to use up some leftover patterns paper. I need to do this sketch about 400 times, I think, and get rid of some odds and ends I've got laying around. That's one thing I think I would like to show you in the new year is my organization system. I'm not saying mine is the best by any means. It works for me, and it does keep me pretty efficient, pretty organized. The problem with showing it to you is I got to get it reorganized before I show it because I've been so busy. But I do think that's something that I would like to start off the new year with, is getting my scrapbook and stuff reorganized and then showing you what I do, because it'll work for some of you it will not work for. Several years ago, I did a series in January with my in-person scrapbookers. It was actually before COVID, because I didn't do anything online until COVID. But I did an in-person series all through the month of January. We met once a week, and we organized different things each week. And my friends loved that. They said that was so helpful to them. to be able to get things organized so they were more efficient in the new year. So maybe we'll look at some of those tips during the month of January and just see about getting everything in a row so we can get started again. You do need to be sure you're securing that copy of the 52 project recipes if you haven't already, because that will be at least one of our videos every week starting in January 2025. So we've got that 2-pager done aside from the pictures. Now let me talk you through what I would do as far as the pictures. You know, I've been matting my pictures on white. I will probably continue to do that. And on this page, that means they're not going to need any extra matting, most likely. So I think this will be a quick, easy one to finish up. I will probably put some embellishments, but here again, that won't happen until after I get the pictures all developed and decide what I'm using on this page. They've shown embellishments here, some journaling here. So lots of spaces to do things. But I do think white mats on this are going to be really pretty, especially when you've got just touches of white through the little ornaments. So that's the virtual crop sketch number 3 from December 2024. Again, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're celebrating with people you love. And until I see you next time, happy scrapping.